Good morning. Hello. If you are watching this recorded, feel free to skip ahead a few minutes. I always start a little early to let people log on. But yeah, today we're learning about witchcraft on Witchcraft Wednesday and the basic building blocks of our witchy symbols. So yeah, skip ahead a little bit and get to learning. And if you don't feel like skipping ahead, hello. How are you today? What you been up to? Feel free to leave me a comment, let me know. I'm very excited to teach this class. I have my little whiteboard with me today, my notebook, very exciting stuff, indeed. Oh, hi Dad. Hello. Welcome, welcome. We've got just one more minute left till the class starts. Ooh, 2 people. Hello, hello. 1 more minute till class starts. Today I have my whiteboard. Very excited to use it. It's been a while since I've used my whiteboard. One more minute. Let me know how your morning is going. Ooh, let me pin my comment. Post. I always forget how to do this. Pin. There we go. Okay. Well, it is 11:11. Good morning. My name is Zsazsa Leverett. Welcome to Witchcraft Wednesday. And today we're going to be learning about the basic witchcraft symbols used in a magical practice. Before we start, I always think it's a good idea to ground yourself. So take a moment. If you use sage or Palo Santo, whatever you use that is ethically sourced, go ahead, burn that now. You can also, today I'm outside and the air is so fresh and clean. I feel like I just want to do some big deep breaths. So that's going to be my grounding, my cleansing today. So feel free to join me in a couple of big inhales and fill your stomach. Let it out. Just a couple more. Last one. Alright, well, I don't know about you, but I am ready to go. Ready to get my learning on, my teaching on. And, yeah, so if you haven't taken my other classes, then I think a very important thing to start off with is that witchcraft is kind of just like a language, a science, I guess, of using your subconscious and your and the cycles of the universe to your advantage. And because humans are such visual creatures, you know, everything we do is symbolic. So each, you know, each syllable in a word, each letter, each pronunciation means completely different things. And because we have assigned a meaning to it, we can get information from it. So that's kind of what humans are like. You know, we just pick up on our symbols. Hi Mom. Yeah, so we pick up on symbols that we have given a meaning to. And that's kind of how we've survived so many years, is because, you know, you see something, you give a meaning to it, and you learn whether that's going to help you survive or if that's going to harm you in the long run. So like, you know, poisonous berries, for example. So we use this knowledge to our advantage. And it's really important to understand the symbolism that you're using, because I'm not even going to go into the pentacle today, because that's so much information in one tiny symbol. So, you can assume it means one thing, but there's so many different layers to this one symbol, because each line has a meaning. So, we're going to get into what each of those lines mean, and then I'll show you some examples of how this works. So, I think I would really like to start with just a simple line. And then I'm going to draw a little cross sort of thing. So, obviously, this is really basic, so we're really getting deep. So these each have their own meaning. So if it's horizontal, it is the body. The body is only available on the physical plane. Life is only available on the flat plane of Earth. I'm not a flat earther, I'm just saying, that's what this is supposed to mean. But, yeah, so this is body, and this is mind. So your mind, it's kind of the way that the vertical line symbolizes the mind is because, you're not just here on this planet. You're in a new realm of thought. So body, mind, and you put them together, it means matter. So, physical things you can touch, you can pick up, life, matter. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So you're going to see this cross a lot, but it just means, the right here, the right now, what we can perceive, what we can feel, what we can touch, and what we can think about, I guess. So one example is you're going to see this. Actually, I'm also going to add a circle. So a circle is really important too. Yeah. And then, okay. So the circle represents your spirit, your life. That thing that makes you alive, basically. Kind of, you could say, like the fire in your soul, but it's less personality. We're going to get into that. That's a slightly different symbol. That right there is the half circle. Ooh, that's really ugly right there, but that's what we're going to do. So, the half circle is your soul. So, spirit, soul. The difference is spirit is, that that energy that keeps you alive, that, the fact that you're a living, breathing creature on this planet. But your soul, which is a half circle, and it could be pointing in any direction, by the way, we're going to get into that. This half circle is your soul. It's kind of like that bowl that holds your personality. So these basic symbols all come together. And here we have Venus, but if you actually attach that, you could have Mercury. I just realized I don't have anything to erase with. I guess I'm going to have to use my shirt. But yeah, so you're going to see that these symbols build up lots of different, these pieces of the symbols build up lots of different other symbols. They all build upon each other. So, I think we should get back to that example of Venus, because I think one of the more important symbols that you are going to use as a beginner immediately are going to be the sun and the moon. And I know this is reversed, so I'm actually reversing the symbol of the moon. So, yeah, you want to make sure that the symbol of the moon is facing toward your left as you're looking at it. So the symbol of the sun, that represents your big circle, the spirit. And then on the inside is that seed, that who you are, your soul beginning to show, beginning to grow into a whole full-fledged spirit. And so when you look at like your sun sign, for example, this is kind of like what the symbol represents, is what drives you, why are you even alive, basically. It's your sun. It gives you your energy, it gives you your life. It is the life giver. Now the moon has two soul symbols, two half circles together. And it's facing the left, which means it's getting its energy from the past. So even that little distinction is really important, of receiving from the past, because that is your soul, your emotional place of standing on the planet, in the universe. So yeah, these comprise of a circle, a teeny tiny circle, and two crescents facing the left. Now, the moon and the sun, why are they so important? Because they're kind of your main driving forces for who you are, besides ancestry and, kind of what you've dealt with in your life. So all of those come together. There's a mixture of your experiences, your ancestry, and the planets in the sky when you're born, because they all have profound effects on you and who you are as a person. Which is why it's kind of silly when people only look at their sun sign and it's like, no, that's not who you are. You're more than that. But yeah, these two are, the most important planets. I know the sun is actually a star, but these are your most important planets, because the sun does literally give you life. Without the sun, you would die. And then the moon is so close that it affects our planet so heavily that, it creates the waves, the female menstrual cycle is, the same amount of days as the moon. It has a heavy effect on us. And, we even plant by the moon. Lots of farmers feed us by the moon's signs and phases. So these are very important symbols. So I think these are probably the most important ones that you are going to need. But I'm also going to show you some other moon symbols, because, if you want to get started, you got to know what these are. So yes, the moon is usually facing the left, which I'm going to still have on the top. My drawing is bad, I'm sorry. But we also, so this is going to be difficult drawing this backwards. So the phases of the moon each have their own symbol as well. So I'm going to just draw a bunch of circles and then fill them in. Okay, so reversing it so you can see it properly. Oh, very difficult. Maybe I should have like a really big whiteboard behind me or something. That might be helpful. And then, yeah. Okay, so these are the main symbols you're gonna see for the moon. And I reversed it for you guys, so, yes, right? Yes, okay. So we're gonna start with this one. That's the only problem. I started from the wrong side. Okay. This is the symbol of the, I'm sorry. This one's not supposed to be filled in. This one's supposed to be filled in. Okay. Oh god, it's so ugly. I'm sorry. Oh, hi, Zeno. So, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how difficult this is going to be because of the mirror effect. Wow. Okay, so, from what you guys are seeing, it is a little difficult to tell, but this is supposed to be, this one. Big loud bus. This is the waning crescent. So the waning crescent, waxing. This is the waxing crescent. It is reversed. OMG. The waxing crescent, it is building up into the full moon. So a lot of times you'll see this symbol. You'll see this symbol, and it has lots of, once again, sorry, my artwork is horrible, but this does represent all the phases, even though it doesn't show all of these. This is what they are representing. So, you know, this side right here is here. See how it's kind of cut in half, and you can only see this side? That's right here. And then this is the full moon right here, and this is the waning crescent right here. So these symbols represent different stages in your power. It also represents different stages in your life. So a waxing crescent, so basically that means that the shape of the moon is like a C, but it's getting bigger. The waxing crescent represents your power is building, your energy is building, your strength is building. A full moon is the most powerful moon for invoking. So if you want to create something in your life, the symbol is awesome. So you can just use an empty circle, or you can, you know, that's for if, you know, it's not the full moon, you can use that to help you feel that power. But at a full moon, it's, you know, going to be way more powerful. So using those two symbols together at the same time is going to be great for you. And then the waning crescent, this means that power is diminishing, but that doesn't mean that you are no longer powerful. It just means that it is a good time to start getting rid of things that don't serve you. It's a time for banishment. And so that new moon, when you can't see a moon in the sky, that is like the perfect time to, you know, get rid of anxiety, you know, to banish, like, oh, this doesn't serve me, get rid of it. Bad health. I wish to be healthy in my habits, get rid of here, get rid of you. So these phases are really going to be very helpful. I think that listening to the phases of the planet and going along with its natural rhythms is so much easier than fighting them and trying to get what you want when the whole universe is kind of like, no, it's time for this right now. So for example, like, you know, if we're going to use the sun instead of the moon. Now, the moon, I said the moon because I think that is the one that, I started with the moon, because that is the one that people are the most excited to work with, because they're like, ooh, the moon. You know, it represents your subconscious. It represents the hidden. And it's true, it definitely does. But there is a cycle that we have been following quite consciously our whole lives, which is the sun. You know, you definitely change your life, whether you know or are interested in witchcraft or not. You definitely change to the sun. It's so much easier, yeah, right? So, you know, it's just so much easier to go with nature than against it. And so, you know, in the summertime, you bring out your shorts and your t-shirts, and you're more likely to go to the beach because it's like, you know, it's actually comfortable to go to the like in the water. And, you know, in the wintertime, you know, kind of stay home more and you get all cozy, and this is a very easy pattern to follow. So, let's say you've been planning for, I mean, this is for definitely for bigger picture things, like a whole career change. You know, maybe not so much. It's kind of difficult to wait until summertime if it's the middle of winter. If you have a problem that needs to be dealt with right now. So that's what the moon does come in handy for shorter periods of time. But the sun, you know, it's great for, let's say, like I was saying, the career change. It wouldn't really make sense to start a whole brand new business in fall. This is when you're supposed to be winding down. Things, you know, the trees are dying, the energy of the universe is coming to a sleep. That's kind of what the fall is for. It's to get ready to rest. So, you harvest your plants, you harvest what you've already been growing throughout the year. So rather than, completely stopping your career right now, maybe wait a couple months, wait until the springtime, and at least until after the winter solstice, and then maybe think, okay, it's time to start building energy, start, thinking about maybe putting my energy in a different direction. And then by the time Aries season comes around, which just ended, that is the beginning of the zodiac, the beginning of the year, if you're following the constellations. By then, that is like one of the most fiery months of the year. It's the best time to start a new project because that is an intense energy, Aries. And right now we're in Taurus, so that's, another part of the sun's cycle. Now it's a time to stick with what you've started. Try not to focus on anything else right now. Try to keep going with what you're going with. It's not a time to make, drastic changes, maybe little ones, but nothing big. And yeah, so that's an example of how you can use that to your advantage. 10 more minutes left. Oh no. Well, that's okay. I think next, what are some great symbols to work with? Because not only are we greatly influenced by the sun and the moon, we are, like I said in my other classes, very much, I wouldn't say indebted to, but that could work for some people. we don't owe the elements anything, but we want to honor the elements. They build our world. They build our reasons for being here. Without water, you'd die. Without air, you wouldn't be able to breathe, So we want to honor those symbols. So let me draw those out real quick. They are equilateral triangles. So if they do not look equilateral, I'm very sorry. I'm trying my best. Okay. So, these are the other symbols we're going to be working with. So luckily, the mirror image does not affect these. Ha ha ha. So we have fire, water, air, and earth. Now, these are, if we just look at the plain old triangle, this is the most basic one, is the upward facing triangle. Just the triangle by itself, equilateral. That means all the sides are the exact same length. It is a symbol of power, of strength and stability in all the signs. Because it not only does it remind you of the pyramids. For example, they are such a stable structure. They have lasted years, and mathematically, this is a very difficult shape to destroy. And if you're building a building, you might be using lots of triangles. If you're building something, anything, you might want to use the triangle because it's a very powerful base. It's hard to knock over. So in all these symbols, it's that triangle is reminding you of the power of that element. Now, how do we tell the difference between all these triangles besides just plain old memorization? I have found a very easy way to help myself. So, fire, right here, it kind of reminds me of a fire. It has a bigger base and then usually that tiny little tip, especially when people draw a fire, it usually goes out a bit and then in at the top. Fire. Water, I look at this like a cup. It's if you want to hold some water, you're going to put it in this sort of shape, especially if it's a martini. Air, it is the, kind of like the, it's the brother to fire. These are by the way, these are the yang energies. Some people say masculine, but I feel like anybody can embody these energies, the power of these two. So these are yang, and I know that air and earth, they're opposites. Fire and water, opposites, so they're together. But yeah, air is pointing up, so above you there's a bunch of air, and this earth is pointing down. Below you is the earth. It's pretty easy to remember once you have that on your side. But like I was saying in my class yesterday about the symbols in tarot, the elements have way deeper meaning than just, oh, this is fire, you light stuff with it. Like, I think we should start with earth. Earth is, it represents stability, strong and steady, your personal needs for survival. If you think of the earth and the bountiful fruits, you use those fruits and vegetables to feed yourself, to be alive. You use the planet to build a home and to make your life what it is. So earth is very much that stable base. So if you're feeling unstable, if you're feeling worried, like, I don't know, my home might, I might be kicked out, I might not be able to eat this month, be very helpful to meditate on the earth symbol. So that is the upside down triangle with a line. Because the more you meditate on a symbol, the easier it is to recall in your brain what that symbol rules, what it represents. And so that's helpful, because if you're in a bind, if you're feeling, if you're spiraling, if you have some mental health issues and you're just so frustrated, you're anxious, you're scared, you can focus on the earth symbol and remember that you are stable, you are of this earth, you will survive. Now the water symbol, the cup, so earth, water. Water is very helpful for your intuition, your mind, but your emotional mind more than anything. And so if I would say anxiety is better with earth. It's better healed with some earthing, some grounding. Depression, sadness, heartbreak, that is better dealt with water. We don't want to hide from our problems. We want to deal with them. And so water, you kind of submerge yourself in it and you let yourself cry, you let yourself feel those feelings, and you try to understand where they're coming from. And by meditating on the symbol of water and, bringing in your subconscious mind those ideas of, your gut intuition is strong, your spirit is strong, you are divine, because water is that path to the divine. It's easier for you to understand that this will pass. These feelings will pass. They are the now, so I'll deal with them now, but they will pass. Air. So right back over here. Air. So yeah, these are yin energies. The ones facing down. Yin, yang, up here. So the yang energies, they're a little bit more energetic, I guess. So the yin energies, they are considered passive rather than active, and I prefer subtle rather than passive. They're subtle. And the air sign. Air is good for if you are having, trouble communicating your needs, if you are having trouble concentrating, learning. You don't know what to believe. You don't know, if your thoughts, if your morals are correct, for example. There's lots of stuff you could work with air. It's that kind of, it's that realm of the mind. You could meditate on the symbol of air, the triangle, the line through it pointing up, and it can help you understand that you have the tools. You have the tools to decipher what is true, what is real. It can help you focus your energy more on being I'm thinking the word susceptible, but that's not the right word. You're able to take in what's coming to you, and you're able to organize it and sift through it and decide, you have that power. You are smart, you are strong, the brain is incredible, and you can figure this out. Now fire, final sign, that classic triangle pointed upward. Ooh. Speedy. Fire. That represents your, what is the most important thing to you, or things to you? Why are you working so hard every day? Why do you wake up in the morning and get dressed, drink your coffee, and get going? What is it that inspires you? And if you are feeling just blah, like everything's kind of gray, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know if this is right for me. I don't know if there's something out there that's better for me, something more fun, something that calls to me. Meditating on fire will help you conjure up images of, passion, strength. What is it that is putting fire in your blood and getting you going? And these are some symbols that can be very helpful. You can combine them together to make your own symbols. So, going back to the first half of the class of the spirits and the soul, I think a very good example is Mercury. So let me draw that out. Mercury. So Mercury is a combination of the spirit, matter, so that's the body and mind, and the soul. So Mercury, for example, rules communication, it rules medicine, thought processes, stuff like that. And you can see that the matter of the ground is beneath the spirit, and the spirit is receiving from above, so receiving from somewhere else. It's learning, it's allowing information to go through, travel through the spirit, through the soul, and become reality. So that's just one example of how these symbols come together to make an awesome combination. Of course, you can make your own, like I was saying. So, I don't know, let's say you are feeling sad and you want your soul to be comforted. You can have that watery triangle holding up your spirit, kind of like an ice cream cone. Hey, maybe ice cream has more power than we give it credit. But yeah, just an example, because once you start practicing every day, memorizing what these symbols mean, then you can look at something and go, and you get a feeling from it. You get an emotional reaction, and that's very powerful. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm so happy you all joined me today. This is so fun. I love teaching and just kind of sharing with you guys more than anything. Sharing what's been helpful to me, even in the smallest, tiniest little details. So yeah, questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. It takes me about 30 seconds or so to see them. So, you know, I'll wait a moment. And, yeah, so if you can help me out, I just started a Patreon. We have tiers. So the second I get one Patreon, I'm going to start uploading 3 times a week for yoga, 3 times a week for meditation. You know, depending on what tier you join, you get more stuff. You get more tarot readings, more information, more fun stuff. But if you can't do that, understandable, awesome, I get it, I got you. You can like, share, and comment on all my videos, and everybody who likes and comments on all of my videos this week, and who share my page with their friends, so you can invite them or share it to your Facebook page. I prefer if you invited them, but you know, you do you. If you do this, then you get a free tarot reading. There's no limit on how many people can do this, so you'll get it as long as you do it. But yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching. I love having your support. It means the world to me. I'll wait for just a few more minutes for any comments, questions, concerns. What you up to today? What are you doing? Anybody doing anything fun? Let me know. Raining on and off as I'm out here. Luckily I'm covered, but I don't know if I'm going to be outside much today. Thank you guys. You're all so awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your love. Means the world. Well, have a great day. I hope whatever you're doing today is fun and awesome and fulfilling. And if you feel sad, you give yourself some comfort and some hugs. Thank you. I was gonna go bigger, but I was like, no, we gotta go smaller. More stable foundation that way, right? Thank you guys. See you tomorrow for Trauma Informed Thursday.